What is social anarchism? Before we look into social anarchism, we need to tackle another question first. What is anarchism? Although it is difficult to give one definition that applies to all forms of anarchism, it is quite safe to say that anarchism is an anti-hierarchical political theory that rejects, among other hierarchical concepts, the concept of the state. Judith Suissa describes how anarchism is historically connected to the two other major modern political doctrines, liberalism and socialism. Anarchism shares the key values of freedom, equality, and fraternity with other political theories, but it interprets them in specific ways, leading to major disagreements. Anarchists have always rejected the Marxist idea of a socialist state or a proletarian rule. They also do not believe that a liberal democratic state is the best way to reach a society in which their values can flourish. Some notable historical anarchist thinkers are Mikhail Bakunin, Peter Kropotkin, Emma Goldman, Louise Michel, Enrico Malatesta, and Max Stirner. Some well-known more contemporary anarchists are Noam Chomsky and David Graeber. What then is social anarchism? Anarchism is best understood as an umbrella term. It includes many different strands and tendencies, ranging from, for example, anarcho-primitivism to Christian anarchism, which is what the author Tolstoy subscribed to. One way to distinguish various anarchist viewpoints is to make a distinction between individual and social anarchism. The difference between them arises, you could say, from the tension between the principles of freedom and equality. Individualist anarchists tend to focus more on freedom, while social anarchists emphasize the importance and benefits of equality. Social anarchists have been numerous and vocal throughout the history of anarchist thought. What are some of their core ideas? The stance against all hierarchies, not the unconditional rejection of the state, functions as the core of anarchism from which most other values can be derived. Müller writes, "The hostility towards the state and capitalism are only incidental byproducts of this primary rejection of hierarchy." Furthermore, it is safe to say that all anarchists are critical of authority whenever they encounter it. It is a misconception, however, that all anarchists oppose all authority. Especially some social anarchists recognize that social life can sometimes benefit from a rational form of authority. And with rational, here they simply mean that someone who has expertise in a certain domain is a legitimate authority in that domain. Additionally, they acknowledge that individuals or organizations may have a right to command others, but such a right must always be temporary and always justifiable in terms of the needs of the community in question, as Judith Suissa explains. Someone is justified to be an authority in certain situations, but not to have authority based on an institutionalized, artificial power relation, the latter being what the term hierarchy designates. This rather nuanced view on authority challenges the widespread myth that anarchists reject all forms of organization. In fact, concepts like self-organization are central to many contemporary anarchist theories. The social anarchist rejection of hierarchy on the one hand and the acceptance of some form of rational authority on the other both stem from a specific conception of human nature. In Mutual Aid, a Factor of Evolution, Peter Kropotkin describes numerous cases of mutual aid in the animal kingdom and various human societies. Mutual aid here is the voluntary reciprocal exchange of resources and services for mutual benefit. Kropotkin emphasizes this factor of evolution in order to refute the assumption made in many social Darwinist theories that people are selfish by nature. According to Kropotkin, human nature is essentially twofold. It consists of an egoistic and an altruistic strand. Anarchists like Kropotkin believe that the cultural and social environment of a person determine when and whether her egoistic or altruistic side will take the upper hand. Anarchist thinkers have often tried to conceptualize the relation between the individual and the collective in general. An excellent example comes from Bakunin, quoted by Judith Suissa. She writes that he, like most social anarchist thinkers, regards individual freedom as constituted by and in social interaction. Bakunin insisted that it is society which creates individual freedom.